welcome to the Marley Bird YouTube channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to make a corkscrew barrette. These are fun accessories for every little girl in your life, so come over here with some worsted weight yarn and your hook and we'll get started. If we look down here, I have a sample of a barrette that has been made. My friend Janet, who's been crocheting for a good 30 minutes now, made these corkscrews for me and we added them on to this barrette. But the barrette was already made with some single crochets and some chains in the black, and then we just added the orange and slip stitch and joined a bunch of corkscrews just to have a fun little barrette here. I think this would be perfect on the top of a ponytail holder or anything like that for a little girl for Halloween. Change the colors up and you have something for every day of the week, even game days. Maybe she's a cheerleader or you have a favorite NFL or hockey team or whatever it may be. This is a fun little way to show your team spirit. All right, so let's learn how to make this game day sort of barrette thing here, huh? That's a great name for it. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to pull in a barrette that I've already started. I've taken a very simple crafting barrette. If you go to Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, AC Moore, any place like that, you can find these little barrettes anywhere. I've taken the centerpiece off so that way I could single crochet around the barrette. So I've just added a single crochet around the barrette. And then I've started doing corkscrews with my teal. So I'm going to show you how to do these corkscrews. I have one complete. We're going to move on and do the next one. Before I move on, I want to make sure that the little piece I took out of the barrette can still fit in there with the number of single crochets that I completed around the barrette, because you still want the barrette to function. So here we are. We're good to go right there. So I'm coming back here. I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch back on my hook. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook today. And all I'm going to do is I've got all these single crochets here, and if I wanted to add those loops like on this one right here, if I wanted to add these black loops, I would do a chain 10, 15, 20, however many you want to do, and then come back and reattach the loop with the slip stitch to either the front loop or the back loop of this, okay? So if I wanted to do that, let's show you. And I'm just gonna do it in the teal color. So we'll just chain however many we wanna do, it doesn't really matter. All right, we'll just do that many. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go to the front loop of this one. I'm gonna slip it on there, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, and draw through the one that's on my hook. So now I have this cool loop. Now I'm going to go into the back loop of that same stitch. Can you see that? I'm going to the back loop of the same stitch. I'm going to do a slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain 15, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And using double crochets, I'm going to begin by putting 3 double crochets in the 4th chain from hook. So I never count the chain on my hook. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put my double crochet right there, 3 of them total, all in the same chain. And this is what creates these corkscrews, you guys. So we have 3 double crochets in that chain. Moving on to the next chain, I'm going to do 3 double crochets in that, and I'm going to do that all the way down until I get back to my barrette. It's really super easy. As long as you can do the chain stitch and the double crochet, you can complete this. This is so much fun. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go on to the next one and put 3 there. Now, even though I chained 15 for this particular barrette, if you wanted to chain more and make your corkscrews a little bit more significant or a little bit longer, you could chain more than just 15. Or maybe you decide that you want to do trebles instead of double crochets, you could do that. The biggest thing is for the pattern for the corkscrew to come out correctly, you need to rapidly increase. So you want to make sure you add at least 2 or more increases in each chain. I prefer to use 3. If you just do 2, it just kind of comes out a little wimpy. So make sure you use 3 of whatever stitch you're going to do. I've seen people do it with more than just 3. They've done 4, 5, or 6. Now that does get a little bit crazy, but it can be done. Also, remember, as you're making these, that they tend to eat up yarn, so make sure you have a significant amount of yarn left over. If you just have scraps left over, you're like, oh, I just want to do a little bit of something extra with whatever project you're working on. You need quite a bit of yarn to complete these because you're putting 3 stitches into each chain, so it's more than just 15 stitches. It's 15 times 3, or however many chains you're going to have in your project. So I'm getting down here, I'm close to the end. If I have accidentally put only 2 in one chain, I'm not going to worry about it, and you shouldn't either. If you're going along and you're just cruising and every now and again you accidentally just put 2, but it's very just random, it's not the dire end of your project. Don't go and rip back and be like, oh, it's got to be perfect. It will be absolutely fine if it accidentally only has 2. Crochet is very forgiving like that. So I'm almost here to the very end. 2, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do this one here. So 1, 2, 3. Now, to finish this off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch back into the very same stitch I began with the slip stitch in. So I'm going to go back into that stitch, pull up a loop, and pull that through the one that's on my hook. You see that? Now, I am going to slip stitch into the front loop right next to it, and I'm going to do another one of these. Maybe this one I decide to make it longer. So let's just chain however many we feel like we need to chain. I don't know, let's go crazy. We're going to come back and let's go ahead, let's do a slip stitch back into this one. So it's the same one we came out of. And then we're going to come over here to the front loop of that same next stitch. Okay, so we worked into the back loop, we're going to go into the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, join with the slip stitch, and begin our corkscrews all over again. Can you see that? So we would chain our 15 and go on, okay? So this is a way you could get these cool little, looking things so you could create more texture in your barrette with these. This is a way to do it with only one color. If you want to do multiple colors like I did in the black one here, what I would do is I would begin with a full row of the black and just alternate back and forth, front loop, back loop, front loop, back loop, where you join, and then go back and rejoin with your second color that you want your corkscrews in, and just create with a slip stitch into the free loops that you did not use for the black and put corkscrews there. It's really not that difficult. Don't overthink it. Have fun. Use your creative senses and make yourself something fun to wear or somebody in your family. I hope you enjoyed how to make the corkscrew barrette, and you will make many of these in your crochet career. Thanks so much. Bye.